Hey guys, welcome back. So today we have a Craftsman 22 max PSI 1.8 gallon a minute pressure washer on the bench. It needs a carb clean or replacement. And if you look here, just all up in here, that's oil coming out of the lower crankcase. We are going to replace all of that and replace that seal at the bottom. We're going to pull the whole motor off and get it all done. Now, you might say, hey Dave, why are you doing all this? It's because, well, this is my own personal unit. This is what I've been using for the last, I guess 5 years, and it has been a great machine for cleaning off all of these mowers that I buy, sell, flip, and take care of. It also does a really good job on my house. It's really just the right pressure. Sometimes I do need to break out the 3100 PSI pressure washer that I have as well, but for the most part, this guy just gets it done. It's time to put some love back into the machine that's done a really good job for me over the years. So let me get you in the stands and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start taking off some of the peripherals, just like the hose, the gun. Take this little top piece off, this little decorative stuff. Just get everything out of our way. Okay, don't know where the camera left off at. Using the Milwaukee drivers, using the Tecton 1/4 inch set that I've got. We've got the cowl off, we've got the peripherals undone. We're going to take off the carb and fuel tank to get to the 3 mounting nuts that are on here. It's going to be a 1/2 inch, I'm sure of it. Yep. Okay, so now we gingerly remove this old classic fuel tank. Sparing our spring and our governor linkage. There we go. All good. Okay, so now I've got complete access to the 3 mounting bolts. Nope, I'm not gonna do it. Nope, not gonna do it. 1/4 inch is out. So let me break into my 3/8 stuff. 1/2 inch, 3/8. Now, Rusty Rooster, turn your head because I'm using a subby impact. No, 3/8, it's 1/2 inch. Also using chrome. instead of impact, which I even think is a no-no. We're gonna get over here to this last one. I'm gonna squirt some seafoam deep creep on this one. It's pretty kicked on with some corrosion. And seafoam deep creep was on the channel Project Farm, where the guy independently tests head to head all kinds of products. And deep creep was the penetrating lubricant that beat everybody else. And I was a huge fan of it ever since then. So there goes the pump. And we are done with that. So the pump is off, the engine's unmounted. Golly, it can't be much simpler than that, can it? Hallelujah. So let's keep all parts together. We got fuel parts. We've got pump parts. We got an engine, a leaking engine. Yeah, I got oil all over this thing. I meant to buy some before I started this project. I'm kind of kicking myself right now. Brake cleaner. I'm out of brake cleaner, which is a good degreaser. Oh no, I got a can left. Let me rephrase that. I have a can that has a little left in it. Set out of the way, and we can now just focus our attention on just the engine alone. Get a little bit of this water cleaned up that came out of the pump. Let's move you in a little closer. Actually, let's just reset the camera and start again. Be right back. All right, y'all, we're back. Didn't take too long to get that readjusted. I keep looking at my watch. I'm able to see what the camera's recording in my watch, so that's why I keep looking at it. Move things around a little bit more here. Just to get you the best angle possible. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the sump gasket. So that was less than 33 foot-pounds. Because that's the maximum breakaway torque that this driver can do. Is all she wrote. Oh, they're different sizes, so let me lay them out the way I find them. Get that key out of there. Try to tap it out very gently. Generally, whatever tools I use to take it apart are the same tools that I'm going to have to put it back together again. So I leave them out, I leave them together, leave them all with me to do the same reassembly work. All right. There we go. Clean up these surfaces, suck out the rest of this oil. Use a little brake clean. And see what we got. I mean, the motor was running fine. There's no issues there. It was just leaking oil. And that's the only thing that I want to stop it. So I'll put a very, very thin bead of sealant around it, RTV. Lay my gasket down, put a second very, very thin bead of sealant down, and then I'll set the cover back on it, tighten it back down to, less than 33 foot-pounds, or right at 33 foot-pounds of torque, and let it cure, and she'll be good to go. Now this is a prime example of, these things are great, absolutely fantastic at getting a majority of the oil out. They do a really good job of getting a majority of the oil out, but there's no perfect way to get it all removed. There just isn't, unless you're willing to rotate the engine, physically manipulate the engine to try to get the oil to the end of the dipstick in order to flush all of that out for it. There's no particles in here. There's nothing wrong. There's no metal shavings. There's no metal bits. It's a perfectly good engine. It's still in great shape. It has many more years of service in front of it. So I'm gonna stop the camera here while I clean everything off. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. Everything's cleaned up. I've got this here clean. I've got this piece clean. I've got my gasket ready to go. So I've got this little cool tool that's made in the USA. It uses 2 hands, but what it does is it allows you to control the flow of your gasket making material in order to put as thin or as thick of a coat on as you need. I'm using the Right Stuff by Permatex, 90-minute gasket maker. A little workbench out of the way here. So what you do is you rotate the handle and it squeezes the tube. As it's squeezing the tube, it's pushing out the contents, flattening it, and you're getting every ounce of your gasket maker out of the tube itself. But it's also allowing you to make a very thin bead, very controlled bead of material as you go. So you are going to watch me put a little bit of gasket material on this side, and it is going to be like watching paint dry because I've got to go slowly. Paint drying. There we go. Give my hand a rest. Keep moving on. Now, Briggs & Stratton doesn't use gasket maker, gasket sealer, or anything, and that's why we're here today, because with a leaking gasket, in my opinion. This is personal preference. This is not what is recommended by Briggs & Stratton. Shook you. One thin black line. All right, that's all it takes. That's all you gotta do. You're not trying to kill it. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It isn't the space shuttle, as Terrell would say. That went so fast, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one. Now, if you've never heard of pterodactyl, I highly recommend him. It's called, his channel is Terrell Fixes All. And I also recommend the Lawnmower Lady. And I also highly recommend gentleman that has helped me out on one occasion in a very significant way. The Rusty Rooster. He's both helped me out. He's sponsored he's posted on his channel about my channel. So he's helped promote me, and he's been there when I needed him as far as a phone call goes. Helped me diagnose a problem that I had been struggling with for weeks. And we got it knocked out with two brains better than one kind of scenario in a matter of about 15 minutes. So I highly recommend the Rusty Rooster, the Lawnmower Lady, Terrell Fixes All. And we're done. Okay, let me put this up, seal this back up, get the gasket out, and we'll be ready to bolt this back together. Okay, we are back. So I've got silicone done, I've got the gasket in, I've got the seal replaced on the lower unit here, this little guy. So that's all finished. We just need to set it back together. And that means we set it up like this. Let me go get some assembly lube, just so it goes together. It goes together smoother. The assembly lube I use is the same stuff that you can get from Pterodactyl, from Terrell Fixes All. It is the Velcro Cincinnati assembly lube, the gel lube. I've used a couple cans of it so far. I haven't had any failures so far. It all works just fine and dandy. I just want to get it in that. Okay, it's all married up. I don't know where it stopped. I used Valco Cincinnati gel lube to start it up, or to lube it before I put everything together. I don't know where the camera stopped. I apologize for that. Second time it's done this in this video. Apologize, I'm very, very sorry. You missed the action. But it is together at this point. We are going to continue on with assembly. I've got the screws back in place in the original positions they came out of. We are going to put an extension on here. We're going to use an alternating pattern to put them on with. So we're going to start here. That's 33 foot-pounds. We're going to go crisscross to there, right here, to here, to here, to here, and finally right here to the last one, right there. Check them one more time. It can only max out at 33 foot-pounds. So the wrench itself shuts off at anything heavier, stronger than that. So the torque spec is 33 foot-pound on this set. So we are done with that portion. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is replace the RJ19LM with another RJ19LM. I know the Rusty Rooster's watching this. He's going to kick my tail if he sees me using the impact too many times, especially on something as delicate as a spark plug. It's not gapped right, but I mean, it looks pretty good. A little worn, a little rusty on the outside, but yeah, that anode, yeah. Now this one has that crush washer, so you want to get it tight and then give it another 1/8 of a turn, so that once it's crushed, it makes that really good seat, so that when it heats and it expands and contracts, it doesn't back out. Okay. Now that I'm here, I'm inspecting. I'm seeing a little bit of oil here, a little blow by under the engine, or under the head gasket. This kit came with a new head gasket. I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. It doesn't look like it's doing a good job any longer. I've got the part. We'll swap out the part. I'll be right back once I get it set up. Before I do anything else, I know someone's out there saying, "Hey Dave, you didn't put the key back in." You're absolutely right, I didn't put the key back in. Let me do that now. Thanks for telling me, I appreciate it. I don't know where I'd be without you guys. All right, problem solved. So this shield is a 5/16. To remove it, done. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, sorry, Sesame Street. Yeah. 8 bolts to remove. And our 1/2 inch. Use my old Makita for this. This one's wet. Should not be. Yep. See right through there, that's where it's leaking. All through there, the bottom half of it. And it doesn't look bad, but it is giving up. Alright, let me clean these mating surfaces, throw on the new head gasket, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I have cleaned this up to the best of my ability with what I have. I don't have or own a roll-lock disc to put in a drill that you can put Scotch-Brite on. I have just steel wool, elbow grease, and the Seafoam Deep Creek, which is a great lubricant, cutting lubricant. penetrating lubricant, cutting lubricant, it does it all. I mean, it really is a super product. So I've got it done to the best of my ability, and we are going back together. Arm is just in the way, isn't it? Let's see if I can move it over here. Get you a little bit better. Bird's eye. For my torque wrench, I cannot find it. So we will tighten down by hand to what we feel is comfortable. Very comfortable number. You know, now that I've done this, I realize that I'm an idiot because I forgot to put this this piece back on that I'm staring at, wondering, I wonder what that has to go to. What is that in the process of putting things back together again? Sharp as a marble I am. All right, head is done. So that should stop all my oil leaks. Problem solved. Key is in, so that's ready to go back together. Carb and fuel tank need to be need to be addressed. I've got to get this little guy back on here. So let me do that real quick. Telling you, dude, guys, this deep creep, I use it on everything. Everything. It is the cat's meow. Better than WD-40. WD-40 has its place. I mean, water displacing fluid, there is a place for it. But, you know, penetrating lubricants, totally different scenario. And that's what this stuff is. And it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend you get it. I bought 2 cans of it on Amazon, had it delivered the next day. Absolutely works wonders. As with any rusty bolt or nut that you're trying to get off, time is your friend. So you get your penetrant on there and you let it set. Don't just go to town on it. You have to let it work, or else you're just wasting your time. You're wasting the penetrant, and it's, you know, you're not doing yourself any favors. You have to let it work. So as far as that goes, that's my 2 cents. I highly recommend you get it, use it. You'll love it, I promise. All right, let me get you repositioned. Let's get to work on the carburetor and the tank, and then we'll be ready to reassemble. All right? All right, y'all, we are back. I got the air conditioner turned off this time. I apologize, I didn't catch it in the last little clip. It was running to keep me cool. Southern Louisiana, it's a hot one. So we're gonna take out the 5 screws holding this carb on. I'm sorry that the camera does shake a little bit. It is all attached. Working off this gasket and diaphragm. Okay. Well, that looks clean. That looks really, really good. I'll run something up there regardless, but those look really good in all reality. Okay, so diaphragm on bottom, gasket on top. There we go. They're quite, I mean, they're still supple, but they're ripping. They're ripping off real well, or real badly. Tearing. This is a much thicker diaphragm. And this tank is clean, by the way. This tank is very, very clean. But it never hurts to go ahead and give it a little extra spritzing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go spritz it up a little bit on the outside of the garage with some brake clean. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, all cleaned up. Ready to go through the carb. Now it's filthy. It is definitely filthy. Let's get these screws out of here. 5 screws. Get that going. And shoot it up with some carb spray on my needle through. So I can see it. I see it beautifully running through there. My primer bulb works fine, always has, never had a problem out of it. But off camera, I'm going to spritz this a bit with some carb spray. I'm going to find all my open wounds. Okay, now that that's done, blow it dry. All right, we're ready to go back together. I love these classics because they are so utterly foolproof and simple to work on. Can you screw them up? Yes, but I mean it's pretty hard too. It is pretty hard too. I mean, the hardest part is, you know, making sure the governor spring and or the return spring and the throttle linkage is all kosher where they need to go. Those are really your 2 biggest enemies. And then making sure that when you put these on, they don't move before you get your screws in place. Because that can be a real hassle too. Screws are in. Screws are in. In and in. Just want to kiss them. I don't want to tighten them. I want to tighten them with an actual screwdriver. And if you've been watching the lawnmower lady here on her 1000th subscriber giveaway, she was giving away a package of JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard screwdrivers, Phillips and flat blades.
And I've been wanting a set of those, and I just didn't know which set to go with. And now that I've seen her set that she gave away, I am totally buying that one. Because those are just the cat's meow. It's ranking right up there with everything else that I get. Just I try when I buy to get the best that I can get at the time, so that I'm not having to buy over and over and over and over again. I mean, there was a period in time in my life where, you know, I could only afford just enough. And I'm now at the point to where, you know, if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy the right thing. And the set is 8 pieces for, I believe, 80 bucks. So you're getting $10 a tool plus a foam tray to set in your toolbox. So, you know, it's not a horrible deal. You know, and that's, you know, it's just not a bad deal at all, in all honesty. When it all comes down to it, it's not a bad price. So this is ready to go back on. Let me turn off the camera, set you back up. We're gonna go ahead and mount everything back to the frame, get the motor, get the pump installed back on the frame, then we'll get the carburetor redone and or bolted on, go hook it up to a hose and test this baby out. Okay guys, back to assembly. So there is that. I just felt some oil underneath, so let's get that cleaned up before we go any further. Like I said, all in all, this has been a really, really good pressure washer for me. I bought it 4 years ago, I think is what it was. And I paid all of, I believe, $20 for it. If I remember correctly, it was about 20 bucks for this thing. And it ran. There was nothing wrong with it. So putting a little bit of money into it is nothing, because it has paid for itself over and over and over multiple times. And that's what we do, is rebuild instead of dispose of. We try to take care of our equipment instead of get rid of it. So, with that said, set this up here. Right there. That is, I think, square where it was. All the holes line up. I have also taken all of the studs and I put them on the wire wheel and wire wheeled them to where they came out clean again. They had gotten a little bit of corrosion. They're stainless steel, so they had gotten a little corrosion on them from the water usage, being on a pump, creating an electrical current. They do corrode over time. So stainless steel will oxidize after a period of time. It'll get this hard white, kind of looks like limestone scale on it, and the only way to get it off is really with a buffer or wire wheel or something like that. So that's what I did. Engine lined up with almost got it. So you're doing a balancing act here. You're trying to get the keyway lined up with your pump so you can slide the pump onto the shaft of the engine. Then you're going to install the bolt. Then you got to hold everything together while you install a nut on said bolt. There we go. All while making sure it doesn't move. There we go. Ta-da. Making sure it doesn't move so you can get it all back together in one piece. I can just hear Aaron Neville singing it now. Hallelujah. All right, I need study. Okay, this nut just came, never mind, I thought it was stuck. I was going to show you a trick on how to get a stuck nut out of your socket if it's really stuck in there. But I don't have that problem this time. For 12 volts, man, this impact stubby is serious. Very serious. All right. Now we are good to go. That is still freed up. That governor linkage freed up the way it's supposed to be. Governor linkage is on. Push that back into its place. Get the spring out to where it can go back in. Get my little boot on that pipe. I got my hash pipe. There we go. Push everything together. We are golden. Get my nut runner back. Socket. 3/8 first, and 1/2 inch second, and then tighten it up after I've got it just started. You don't want to tighten anything down when you're dealing with opposing angled screws. For instance, we have a screw going in this direction and we have a screw going in this direction. They're going in at opposing angles. Because they're going in at opposing angles, you don't want to tighten them down. Like tighten this one down first because it's going to cause the other one to be offset, preventing that one from being able to get started. So you want to start all your screws first, then once they're all started, that's when you tighten everything down, okay? Just a simple tip and trick. That is all she wrote, I believe, boys. I've got to get the air filter back on. I changed the air filter last year, and I have not run it but one time since. So that air filter is still golden, still crisp as the newborn sun. Need to fill her up with some fuel. I need to get this top back on. Fill her up with oil. Beautiful. Beautiful. Coming together perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Plastic into steel, you don't want to over tighten because you will crack the plastic, and that's a boo-boo that you don't want to face ever. You just don't want it. You don't want it. You just don't want it. All right, so this is all good to go. I need to add fluids, dinosaur juice, dinosaur syrup, hair breather, and then hoses, finish it all off. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, let's fire it up and see what happens. but not good. The spring came off for the governor return, so it's not running at full throttle. It's just doing it the best it can. But I'm gonna chalk it up as a victory. Remember guys, idle hands are the devil's playthings. Keep on wrenching, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, and give me all the comments you like. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.